So here is the final report that we will construct. It showcases the sales performance of any given time window. So you can actually select any range of dates, and then you can understand what was the total sales, how much is the cost of the goods sold, what is the total other expenses, and what is the net profit at the end of it. It also shows the breakdown of sales in various product types. We sell 4 types of products: espresso, coffee, herbal tea, and tea. And also what's happening in individual markets, Southeast, Central, and West markets, as well as across all the states that we operate our stores, whether we have reached our budget profit goals or not. So as you can see from this configuration here, none of the states have met the targets except for this one. This is actually pretty much borderline around the target value, so anything in the gray area is good, red is bad. Let's go ahead and create this from scratch on a blank page. That will give you a full journey of how such a report, construction, and storytelling can happen. As you can see here, I have a Microsoft Access database with all the data that we want. So I'm going to import these data in a blank Power BI report. So let's go ahead and click the Get Data. As I said before, my data is inside an Access database, so I will click on this icon here, Access Database. Then press the Connect button. And here is my file, which you can also find in your resource files. It's called Coffee Chain. Open it. I want to load the coffee chain query data, so let's click on this checkbox and press Load. Great. Pretty straightforward, right? The very first step that we want to jump into report construction is to spend a minute or two understanding the data that we have. As I said, this is actually a coffee chain data set. It does not have many fields. There is very limited amount of information, but everything is in one single table. So let's take a quick look at what we have. Click the Data View button. We have some numbers. We know what is our profit, we know what is the margin, how much of the sales, cost of goods sold, and total expenses. I'm assuming these are all in dollars, but they could be in hundreds of dollars or thousands or even millions for that matter, and we can analyze it like that. There are also some extra columns like marketing and inventory. We are not using these columns for our purpose today, but you are more than welcome to try those things. Apart from the actual numbers, there is also budget information. This is how much we're supposed to get profit. For example, in this line item here, we're supposed to have $30 as profit, but we got $11. So we are under that budget for that. Likewise, the margin is supposed to be 40%, but we only got up to 26%. Sales are supposed to be $50, we only got $43. You get the picture, okay? And the date corresponding to that entire line item. These dates are one per month. So these are basically years 2022 and 2023. So 24 months of data. And then the market is categorized into 4 levels: Central, East, South, West, and various states in that we operate this business. This business is US based. So there is some additional information provided here about market size, product type, product and type of the product. Is it a regular or a decaf one? As you could see, the product item has various types of products that we sell, like various types of teas and regular espressos and etc., etc. So that is in a nutshell about our data. Let's click on the report view. Now, when you want to tell a story of what is happening from a sales reporting point of view, it's a good idea to create some sort of rough sketch of how this is going to look. Let's not overcomplicate this. So we will imagine that this will have a summary of what is happening at a high level and then a detailed view of what is happening at various product types and various geographies. So that's pretty much what we will hope to achieve. And there are many ways to analyze and visualize data within Power BI. In this particular lesson, I'm focusing on building as much as possible without writing a single line of DAX code. But the next logical step is to actually build some measures so that you are able to achieve even greater amounts of insights and analytics within Power BI. So to create that kind of summary in detail, like a two-step layout where you show quick statistics at the top and the detailed statistics at the bottom, we could use the card visuals to show that summary. And then for detail, we could use any of the other visualizations. It could be tables, graphs, or maps, or something else. So let's add a single card first. This is where I want to show our overall sales. So we'll select the card and then we can go and put the information here. This will automatically sum it up. To get the currency formatting on the card, you just have to select the sales field, go to the column tools, and from here apply the currency formatting. Let's add the currency and remove decimals. So once this is there, then the next step is to apply some sort of formatting for this card. Because these are summary figures, they need to stand out and grab attention. So we will apply some visual formatting to the card visuals from this button. Format your visuals. And then let's start with the General tab. Then open the Effects options. And here is the background color. We can pick any background color. Let's go with something like this, that dark blue color. And then we will change the text color to have a better contrast. Let's click on the Visual tab and open the Callout Value options. I'll choose a white color for that text. We will do the same for the category label as well. This will make sure that, and this is visible. Okay, so that is pretty much it. What we could do is we could adjust the font size depending on how big the style needs to be. I imagine these styles will be about that big. And you can also adjust the font families if you want, but we will leave it there. Now from the General tab and from the background options, we will go and try some of these features. I'm going to enable the visual border. We will meet the border on, and the color of the border will be the same as the title. But the rounded corners can be about 20 pixels, so this will give it a nice little rounded rectangle shape for my tile. And then we will go and enable the shadow. This will add a little bit of shadow effect around the box. I'm not a big fan of built-in shadows because they tend to look a little bit bulky and clumsy, but I want to show you that you can change pretty much every little aspect of the card visual. And finally, I want to change the text of this title of this card from Sum of Sales to Sales. I can do it from this little down arrow and then rename this to Sales, okay? So once you're happy with the appearance of these tiles and you can do what you want, well then you can press Ctrl plus C to copy that card and Ctrl plus V to paste it. So this way you don't have to do the formatting multiple times. You just do it once and you can use it. So we have one tile for sale, and the next one we will use it for the cost of goods sold. All right, I will drag the cost of goods sold field and drop it here. Let's add the currency and remove decimals. We will repeat this for the total expenses. All right, I'll rename the category title to total expenses. Oh, I forgot to close the goods sales title. All good. It's time to add the dollar sign and remove the decimals. and the final tile will be profit. The same formatting here. Now, if you see that your cards are actually not fitting because they are too wide or too small or whatever, then you can follow the steps that I will show you. First, you're going to select all of them, and you can hold the Control key and select all of them. But this is even better. You can just drag like this and select all the tiles in one go. So, once you select all of them, you can go to Format Options, and from the General tab, you can adjust the height and the width of the card from the Properties option. Okay? Because profit is the most important number in all of these, I want to make this a bit more prominent. This can be done in a few different ways. For example, you can change this from a different font or a different size of it. Because in the DIN font, I think this is the default for this. It doesn't really have a bold face. So there's nothing that we could do with the DIN. You could change this to another font that allows bold, like Seago Bold. There are other ways to emphasize this number as well. For example, this could have more shadow or a different color. I'll use this light yellow. And all of these can switch to Seago UI Light, so that the same font family, but this one is bold and those ones are not. Once all of these are there, we will quickly select everything. Go to Format, make sure that they are all aligned in the middle and that they are spaced evenly. Distribute horizontally, and then we'll space them out evenly at this point. And once that is done, we can select all of these, right-click and group them so that if we accidentally move one of them, all of them will move. So this kind of locked them in this configuration of spacing and sizing and everything in one set. So that part gives you the overall business summary. I'm not a big fan of showing every single number per se, so when you show $820,000, it doesn't really tell you whether that is a good number or a bad number. It's always a good idea to contrast this with something else. But I will leave that for you as homework. For example, we could contrast this with budget sales. We already have that information, so we could show the amount of budget sales either underneath or above or on the side as a comparison, so that we can understand whether we have exceeded the budget or not and develop feelings towards those numbers. Now let's go and create the remaining graphs. So we will add a clustered bar chart for exploring individual product category detail. So we'll make this big. And then add this product type into the y-axis or vertical axis. And then we will add sales and profit into the x-axis or horizontal axis. So this will give me sales and profit by various product categories. They will be colored in a different way. So once this is done, I can copy and paste this. This way you don't have to manually work on formatting the visuals one at a time. And then on this clustered bar chart, we will remove product type. And we will use market for here so that I can see the same information by various geographies. Now, because Power BI is interactive at this point itself, this report provides so much more than those 6 data points. Everything can be interactive. For example, I can see what's happening with espresso. I can select the espresso bar, and I can see those numbers for espresso. I can also see how much of espresso that we are selling by region and what kind of profits we are making. So, for example, the East region seems to be having significantly lower profit on a comparative basis than other regions, and that will give you additional insights. Likewise, you can select Central and then see what is happening to the Central region by various product types. How much is the cost of goods sold, expenses, and profit within that region? Okay, so once these two are done, the next one that we will create is a comparison of whether we have achieved the profit targets or not. This kind of thing can be done in multiple ways, and this is my favorite way of exploring that information, which is to use a scatter plot or that one scatter chart. And right here in the details section, we will put the state column. So for each state, one bubble will be drawn. Right now, there is only one, but it will be automatically expanded as you can add the x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis, we will show you the profit, and on y-axis, we will show you the budget profit. So this is how much profit we have actually achieved, and this is how much we should have achieved. As a dot will tell you for this example, in the state of New Mexico, the profit was $799, but the budgeted profit was for $2,660, okay? This in itself is useful, but if you add another feature to it called symmetry sharing, what it does is it will automatically share the graph into two triangles, indicating which part is leaning towards budget and which part is leaning towards actual profit. To enable that, you just need to select the graph and then go to the Analytics tab. And from here on, Symmetry Shading, and add it. This will add symmetry shading like this, and we will get some default colors. Again, these colors will not be very well contrasted. So we will go, and because if we have not met the budget profit, that means in this area, any dot here is not a good thing. That means that those states have not met the target. So to emphasize them, we will select that, and we will put this kind of red shading. You can try various things, of course. And then the lower area is good. That means that these states have matched the profit, and there is no need to emphasize them. So we will pick something that is dull, like this light gray color, and this will give you that kind of visual. The other thing that we want to achieve is if you look at this coloring here, sales is blue color and profit is dark blue. In the scatter chart, the dot is blue, and because it is a visualizing profit, we want to synchronize that color as well. So select the scatter chart and then click in the Format Area button. And from the markers options, change the color of that to dark blue color so that it syncs with our profit picture there, okay? Another thing that we will quickly do is select these charts and disable both legends and titles from them. Okay, this might seem counterintuitive because of the legend and the title information. They can be added by us. We will remove that. Let's size these graphs. Whenever you resize or move, you can see that Power BI adds this helpful guidelines, the trend color that is appearing. So you can actually make sure that these are all uniformly sized and positioned, okay? Once this is done, we can go ahead and we can start applying the title and additional formats here. So for the title, I want to show my corporate logo. I have already designed a logo for the coffee chain, so I'll show you how to get that. Alright, click the Insert tab and then the Image button. I just go to my media folder and I pick this image. Okay, bring it over here. And put it there and size it and move it as you want, and that will work. Now we can insert the tile saying sales report. To do this, we will just insert a text box, type the word sales report, and move it right to the end of the logo, like that. And then you can just adjust the font for families and their sizes as well, and I will make this nice and big so that we can see the wording. It is also a good idea to add a slicer so that you can choose specific dates for your report. So let's add the visual slicer, move it to the right upper corner, and add the date as a filter. Great! Let's go ahead and add titles for this part of the dashboard as well. I will add a text box and type sales and profit by product type and region. Let's make some formatting here. And add a light gray background color as well. Okay, I will add another text box and type profit by actual versus target and state. And then our sales report is done. So this is how you can plan your reporting and start constructing. So at this point, you can really stop watching. But if you're thinking, okay, this is good, Andreas, but how do I take it to the next level? Then you can start adding some extra measures. This is just one page. So you could build another page where you could add new measures, new charts, and new cards, individual product details, or whatever, and link that page as a follow-up. So this is the final sales report. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.